G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the east corner of the map, playing in the colour blue as the Holy Roman Empire representing my insanity. We've got the Mister. And in that west corner, playing as the Mongols in the colour orange, representing Team 3D, it's B. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're here on Prairie, a map I haven't seen in quite some time, but I'll be honest, I do miss this map. I miss this map quite a bit. This is a map that naturally is going to be a bit more aggressive, just simply because you don't have those big piles of wood really close to your base. You just got these tiny little ones. And speaking of tiny little ones, if you guys are enjoying this content, make sure you hit the like button because it definitely helps out with the traction of the video. That wasn't even intended. Anyway, welcome guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's talk a little bit about this matchup. Not a fun matchup today for the Mister. And it's going to be one of those ones where he's going to have to throw a curveball. He's going to need to pull something out here that his opponent is not expecting. Because this matchup, it's one of the worst in the game at the moment. Mongols versus the Holy Roman Empire. The reason why, the Holy Roman Empire wants to get to Castle Age. They power spike there because of their relics. However, the Mongols are very good at stopping them from getting to Castle Age. Often what that means is that you're forced to play in the Dark Age or in the Feudal Age, and that's exactly what is happening here today. We can see that Mister is going to be going for just a little bit of early military here. He's open with the double scout as well. Keep that in mind. We do see 2 scouts out on the map, of course, Prairie. Plenty of sheep out here as well. Compare that to his opponent, though. B has only opened up with the single Khan. No built scouts, no nothing else. But the first lot of spearmen are out. And expect to see a villager brought quickly as well. Let's take a look at the spawn for the Mister and see how it is. It's actually not that bad. This is a pretty decent spawn. He's got gold in the back. This could be relatively well defended. He can put down a wall here and then an outpost on this side, and he should be a-okay from that south position. The north is where it's going to be problematic. And we're here in the middle, a wolf. Now going to be attacking B with the bald little guys. Yeah, you can see, look, he's got double balds right now. This is next level meta stuff. Look at that. So as a balding man, I'm able to talk about... I don't think these guys are actually bald. I think this is the hairstyle of the time. They look like they're bald, but I think it's just like a mohawk. Oh my god, that's a third bald man! Damn, dude. Okay, all right. Well, I didn't expect that. So each spearman has got like a different model that has a chance of generating. And normally you get spearmen that are men. Sometimes you get women. And sometimes you get bald ones, or at least ones that pretend to be bald. And we got a triple. That's rare. I get excited when there's a triple. Oh, baby, a triple. Mom, get the camera! That sort of excitement. Sorry. My son's asleep upstairs. Sorry, mate. It was important, though. Anyway, so, as mentioned earlier, you want to try and get to Castle Age as quickly as possible with the Holy Roman Empire. There's a spanner in the works when there's the Mongols, because the Mongols are so good at keeping you here in the Feudal Age. And you're kind of forced to play in the Feudal Age, and you have to make a couple of awkward decisions, like, do I go for the MEINWERK? Do I go for the Ark, and which one is it going to be? But numbers here looking pretty good from Mister early on. He's up against that double production of the Mongols. You can see that he's still able to keep up with what his opponent is throwing at him. Keep in mind, he's got the Prelate. Could look to bring that out if he wants to go for some early heals, but I suspect he's just going to be taking back lower health spearmen. He's going to be careful not to lose them and get them all poked down. So wants to bring all of them and then deselect this one. So this one is able to run forward. And oh no, careful little spear. Don't take bad trades, my friend. More spears continuing to come out. You can see he's just spamming it right now. And you could tell from the opening that he was going to be looking to play this way. And I think this is the best way that you can play against the Mongols early on, is to just 100% go for a barracks. Because even if the Mongol player doesn't open with spears of their own, and if they do, then it's great because you can contest them. But if they don't, you can put pressure on their Uvu, right? Look how far away the Uvu is from the town center. And often it's the TC is close to the Uvu or the TC is close to the goal, but it's never both normally. Sometimes it is. If they get a god spawn, then it can happen. But normally those two are away from each other. So there's always pressure you can put on somewhere. But it looks like, speaking of pressure, Mister will be able to pressure his opponent off the front. Outpost does get cancelled, and B going to be heading back to the drawing board at this early stage in the game. 4 minutes 40 in. So you'd be looking at this and thinking, okay, well, this has gone pretty well so far for Mister. And I'd have to agree. I think this has done well. The one takeaway is that Mister isn't Castle Age yet. We're 4 minutes into the game, Drongo. Calm down. But I guess the point is that every second he's delaying him is a second without relics, and that's what B wants. But Another thing to note is that every second that this prelate is out here healing, the prelate is not buffing. So it's, you know, the Holy Roman Empire is balanced around having that uptime of the prelate. And if they don't have it, well, it's starting to feel a little bit worse. Numbers looking good here for B. He's going to find a bit of a surround. Sticks the pokes on. But looks to fall back, and now they just jostle for position. Outpost coming down. Looking to once again put on this pressure. He's got plenty of time here. Keep in mind this outpost takes a minute to come up. So he's able to throw in a few more villagers, or a few more spearmen here. But the numbers looking really good for B. Mister's got to be careful. You can see them just beautiful micro coming in. The heals coming in strong as well. Trying to heal through that damage of the spears. But look at the numbers now. Prelate going to be under attack, but it manages to fall his opponent, or fell his opponent like a tree. Like a tree in a forest. And we're going to see that prelate head back to base. And now you can start thinking about the age up. You can see, look at Mister's macro. Oh my lord, Mister's macro, 500 gold right now in the back pocket. Mister was saving for a rainy day, and my god, is it pouring right now for that guy. Whew. Spear's doing a decent job. He's got to be careful not to overextend. Keep in mind, you've got the Khan also on the enemy side. Could always look to bring in that maneuver arrow. Look to increase the speed of his own spears. Potentially take you down, get the numbers advantage. Then you're in a bit of a dilly of a pickle. But now that age up's coming through, it is going to be the MEINWERK Palace that Mister looks for here. So with that, there's a potential he could look to combo that into some archers. Have a really strong early counter, but he's going to be going up against those Keshiks, remember. Looks like the outpost was cancelled before the first torches were thrown. He will get everything back. And now, holding on for dear life at the moment, Mister. Nice little push coming up, but the second prelate comes out. Keep in mind the healing is reduced at this stage of the game. Not until the castle age will this healing actually be pushed up to the full rate that it is. And look at the numbers. Hold your horses right now. Mister might be in a little bit of trouble. He's outnumbered 3-1 when it comes to the spearman numbers. He's got the prelates in the back, but if they're only healing themselves, then no damage is being done, or at least no damage is being mitigated. More prelates coming in. He's going to be able to utilize these prelates once he gets to the castle age. That's another thing to note. Once castle age is reached, he can immediately pick up relics, bring them back for the regnants, but that's the question's going to be whether he's able to get there. Numbers aren't looking too bad for him. Mister reaches the castle age, or rather the feudal age now. All those buildings going to slowly update. They're trickling in, and he should be able... He's got two options here. Number one, go into men-at-arms. Number two is go into archers. And I definitely feel like it's going to be a men-at-arms game, and we can see right there that men-at-arms are coming out. You've got to be cautious, though. I'm going to spoil the previous games in the series. If you haven't watched them already, go back and watch them. The last 3 videos that we've uploaded. Go check them out. It's currently 2-2 in this series. This is the final game. We didn't cast the third game. We casted the first, second, and fourth game. The third game was a really quick game, so I didn't bother with it. First 2 games won by Mister. Next 2 games won by B. This is match point right here. The tempo in favor of B. In one of the games that we saw that Mister lost to a whole bunch of cavalry and he didn't make a single spearman. Don't make that same mistake again, Mister. Outpost number 2. Now looking to come down. He's brought a second villager out here for it as well. Increase that speed up a little bit, and you can see that gold numbers not looking the best here. He's picked up a couple of technologies, including that extra movement speed for the infantry. Towards the front side, we've got that outpost that still stands strong. Second outpost will nullify this gold vein completely. Couple of men-at-arms here. Need to try and force their way back towards these villages. The problem you're going to have is they're just going to leg it. They get completely surrounded now and will get poked down. Third men-at-arm going to be joining in, but at the same time, the outpost is coming up. And this is the goal here for B. As long as this outpost comes up, then he is absolutely fine. The heal's coming through. You can see the prelates raising their hands. Raise your what? Raise your hands, my friends. Outpost, if it gets up, that is going to be a really tough spot here because Mister's going to have to think about going to greener pastures. And speaking of pastures that are a little bit greener, ladies and gentlemen, we've got ourselves an age up. The feudal age has come through for B. Outpost arrives. So there's a couple of reasons why this is a tough spot now for Mister. With this outpost being up, it completely nullifies, or completely, and I don't know if nullifies is the right term, it ruins all of the gold here for Mister. All of his wood's been ruined as well. He's kind of locked in his base, and it means behind this B can just do whatever he wants. He's locked out of a lot of the space here. Khan on the back as well. We can see that units are going to be moving up towards the north here. Villages as well. A little bit ahead of it. No prelate just yet. He's got the 3 prelates out, so he can definitely buff up all these villages. And I'm curious whether he goes for castle age here, or whether he looks to play it in feudal. I think if he stays in feudal, it's going to be a mistake. But at the same time, if he doesn't play it in feudal and he goes for castle, there is the risk that he just dies to a timing. Let's take a look at the other side of the map, though, because B might be thinking about going castle himself. We don't see the silver tree. with any traders just yet, but you can see that Mister has got a scout in position, looking out for them. Silver Tree going to head to the corner of the map, looking for a max efficiency market. Silver Tree right there. Wonderful positioning. He's got the double trade options as well. Can always come down to this corner if he so chooses. Archery range will come down. Double stable, by the way. And it's going to be Keshiks on the way in. So at this point, if I'm Mister, I feel like just going mass spears is such a good play. But it's hard to deal with because Mongols can just pull archers out of their... Well, I'm not going to say where they can pull them from, but it's a magic trick. Out of their hat. Let's just go with that one. And you've got sight back here, and you can see the double stable, so you know that there's going to be cavalry. You want to try and nullify that as much as you can. Nullify is the word of the day. I don't know why I've chosen it. It takes me back to my Hon days. There was a... Was it called a nullifier? I think it was called a nullifier. It was like a mana burn item that you could buy. Silver Tree, just getting packed down over here. In that west corner, he's going to start looking to produce some traders. Keep in mind, reduced cost, reduced time to train as well for those traders from the Silver Tree. Keshiks. Not going to be able to find too much just yet. And we do see the horsemen now going to be out on the field as well, just in anticipation of inevitable archers. And speaking of inevitable archers, we see that there is a second archery range going to be placed down here. Mister not even looking at the prospect of that castle agent. Not a single villager on gold. Compare that to his opponent, 13 villagers on gold. It is a different story. Keshik looks like it will shut down the scouting. Wheelbarrows coming through as well. Be pulling further and further ahead. Not looking good for Mister at the moment. Military numbers are decent here, though, for Mister. He outnumbers his opponent, even though he's on the defensive. Outposts going to keep these units safe. Always able to retreat back to them. Keshik able to clean up that scout. Not a lot of information now for Mister. He doesn't know what his opponent's up to. Second scout, though, on this south side, looking out for that trade. Plenty of units out here. Keep in mind he's got that increased movement speed as well, which is looking to try and make a connection here. We'll begin to put some pressure on this Uvu. Definitely the right choice, but we're getting to that point in the game where the Uvu is about to... I was about to say is about to run out, but fortunately this is one of those big Uvus, so we're not going to have to worry until about 24 minutes when this Uvu eventually runs out. Everybody now beginning to hit the third of the archery ranges. So many damn archers looking to come out now. Hasn't picked up any of those blacksmith upgrades just yet, but keep in mind he's got the Khan ready to provide that little bit of an extra attack speed. We talked about the prospect of going into full spears earlier. Can always mix in a couple of horsemen as well. Definitely feels good when you've got those extra upgrades coming through from the unique landmark from the Holy Roman Empire. Let's take a look back here. It's just a couple of units under attack, but now going to be pushing through. The spear mass looking good together with the men-at-arms. No real way to deal with the men-at-arms as long as the spears are here, because those Keshiks cannot come through. Villagers, going to be careful. Spear's going to make good connections here. Keshiks need to be careful as they get skewered. At the same time behind this, it looks like some spear on horseman action. Never fun for the spear side, or rather the horse side. So he has picked up the riveted chainmail, I think it's called. Riveted chain barding, maybe that's what it's called. Extra 2 armor. So it looks like Mister is going to be going for the Holy Roman Empire death composition in the Feudal Age. This is something that has been theorized. So this is a composition I used to use all the time back against the French. When you're playing as China, you open up with spears to deal with their knights, and then once they've thrown in archers, then you mix in horsemen. And you've got 2 counter units, they've only got 1 counter unit. That's the way it works. And it's very reliant on your micro. You need to be making sure that all of your units are always attacking the right target. Your spears always need to be attacking cavalry. Your horsemen need to always be attacking enemy archers. This civilization now, the Holy Roman Empire, is particularly good at doing this because of the 2 unique upgrades that they get. The first one being the extra armor. They get an extra 2 melee armor for both their spears and their horsemen. On top of that, they also get that unique movement speed bonus. You can see now the Keshiks going to start looking for villagers. Horsemen going to be able to pick them up at the same time. A little bit of a raiding force up towards that north side. Walls coming in. Quick walls coming in. Mister going to be sealing himself safely inside the walls behind those lines. Now spear's going to be coming in. Looking to try and pick off a couple of Keshiks here. One will be found. At the same time, towards the north side, he's looking for any kind of trade. He will... Oh, he won't find it. He won't see it. It's only just begun, so it's not a huge threat yet. That's the key word, though. Yet. As long as this game keeps going on, those traders keep coming out. It's just a matter of time until they are a huge threat. And now Mister continuing to add in more and more units. We talked about whether he'd be considering Castle Age. He hasn't gone for it. The feudal age Holy Roman Empire is here. The God Emperor army. Is that what, can we say God Emperor? That's all right, right? We can say that. There's just, I got to be careful. There's words that you can say, there's words that you can't say. I feel like that's probably a word I can say. The Giga Chad army. Let's just go with that. It's a safe army. The Giga Chad army. The Giga Chad feudal age army. That's what I'm going to sell this to you guys as. But you can see those upgrades really starting to come through now. Fitted leatherwork, a little bit of extra melee armor. Up to 3 now on these horsemen. He'll be up to 3 on the spears as well. So they're going to have a wonderful fight against these Keshiks. But Keshiks now just going to be picking fights against villagers. 2 vills going to be going down. He's managed to take out 4 already this game. At the same time, towards that south side, the scout going to go down, but will spot out these traders. So he knows well and truly that trade is underway. Multiple angles of attack coming in on these traders as well. Look at this. Along one edge, along the second edge, the double prong, the beastie. You know, beastie loves doing this. Keep him guessing. But this is a smart move. Attack the silver tree. The problem is, if your enemy goes down the guts, you may be having even more trouble yourself. Sure, you're going to get yourself a landmark. Yeah, you're going to stop trade. But what happens if he just pushes your base right now? And that's exactly what B is going to look to do. This could be terrible for Mister, because half of his military, that's 17 units. He's got 45. So a little bit less than half is in the enemy, behind enemy lines. He's got to be really careful at this point. Needs to stay underneath the town center. Wants to avoid a fight at all costs until these horsemen are back in a position where they can contest the enemy army. Needs to make sure his villagers stay alive as well. And we can see that they've chopped through this wall, this protective safety wall. Keshiks now towards the north. Going to be looking to regroup up towards that angle. Archers also coming in. Got their upgrades in, +1s. As you'd expect. Still no ranged armor, by the way. And that's a really smart move. Very intentional move. There's no ranged units coming in from his opponent. Let's check in with those horsemen. I think Mister's realized. He said, you know what? It's not worth it. I'm going to die. He's not coming back. He's not looking to challenge me. I need to bring these back. And you can see that they are routed. Even though they spot villagers, they're like, I'm sorry. It's more important that I shut this down. So now the age-old question, what's going to win? Is it going to be that heavy cavalry unit from the feudal age together with the archers? Or is it going to be spears together with horsemen? This really comes down to micro. It's all about the micro. Mister. His name starts with M. He is also a man. That also starts with M. You address him as Mister. You could call him Mister like the band. There's so many M's. Micro starts with M. It's a sign. Mister. Bring your micro online and let's do it. Let's take a look at this battle as it begins to unfold. Towards the north side, a couple of horsemen going to be getting picked off. Spearmen on the south. He looks to bring them in, rounding them out. They've got that extra movement speed, but a nice little spot here. A really good spot here for B. He's going to be able to do the ring around the rosy. Spears, unfortunately, up against those archers, and it's just a matter of bringing them back and forth. And he's got spears here to deal with it. There's no way for Mister to deal with these spears. As long as these spears are alive, he's just going to be able to push and survive. There is no question about it. And Mister getting torn apart. A crucial decision right there. He had the micro, but the decision-making wasn't on point. Looking to try and fight around this wood line means that you have just lost so much control from your melee units. They need to try and get in on those weird little angles, and you've just lost so much surface area because of that. And that really punishes the Mister in this position. And now, with less than half the military of his opponent, he looks to try and defend up against these Keshiks as they begin vampiring their way in, but it's not going to matter. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be B who is successful in this series. I hope you guys have enjoyed EGC TV's tournament. Make sure you check it out this weekend. It'll be at 15 GMT, Saturday and Sunday, this weekend, next weekend, the weekend after. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.